on the agenda. Agenda. Norton talking. Thanks. Okay. Please can I remind you that mobile phones should be switched off or on silent during the meeting. This meeting is webcasted meeting and you will only be heard on the stream when you use the microphone. Indicate you wish to speak by pressing the button on the mic and the chair invites you to speak. Your mic will turn red. Now, please would you stand while Reverend Pat Lodge reads the witness. Thank you.
A previous Bishop of Manchester, Bishop Nigel MacCulloch, took it upon himself to make a pilgrimage of every area of the Manchester diocese before he retired. And he took as his theme Paul's letter to the Hebrews, in which Paul tells the Hebrews to remember that since they are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses, they should throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, in order to run with perseverance the race marked out for them. And it struck me, as many things have over this year, in which I've had the great privilege of being the Mayor's chaplain and praying for and with you in all the work that you do, that you too, as councillors, run the race that is set before you, and that the electorate of this borough are very much your great cloud of witnesses. What kind of race do you run, and who sets the parameters of that race? I think your race is very much a marathon, not a sprint. And the course, serving the people in your wards, needs you to remain determined to the end. It is a race which requires stamina, commitment, discipline, and indeed faith in yourselves and those that you serve to get to the end. As Paul says, with the encouragement of those who have gone before, we must rid ourselves of thoughts, attitudes, and habits that impede our progress. That sense of continuity and of passing the baton on is particularly appropriate today, as Councillor Glover passes the mayoral baton on to Councillor Sharif for her to continue to lead the work of the council and its councillors over the year. And so we pray. Lord, you have taught us that we belong in community and are called to serve one another. We ask your blessing on this council, its councillors and its officers, as they work together to meet the needs of this borough. Help them not just to listen, but to hear and to act. Help them especially to have concern for the marginalised and those who are overlooked, for the sick, for struggling families, for the elderly and vulnerable, and the homeless. Help them to recognise the needs of those who come to our borough having left their homeland in fear and distress. Give them the insight to support local businesses, charity and voluntary groups, churches, our hospital and our schools, recognising that it is to the young people of the borough that future batons of civic service will eventually be passed. Lord, we thank you for the dedicated work of Councillor Glover and his consort Anne, who over this past year have supported organisations and events across the borough and brought people together in support of each community. We ask for your blessing on Councillor Sharif as she takes on the race that is set before her as the new Mayor of Tameside for the coming year. And now I invite those of you who feel able to do so to join me in the traditional words of the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those that trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Pat. Please be seated. Apologies, I have Councillors Kitchen and Mills. Are there any further apologies for absence? Councillor Bolton. Thank you. Can I ask Councillor Cooney to move the motion to defer this item, which is the election of the civic mayor?
I'll move that, Chair.
Yeah. Councillor Fairfield, can you second it? Thank you. The appointment of Chair of Business. Can I ask Councillor Cooney to move this proposal? Thank you. So all those motions are carried into the Mayor's announcements. So the last time we were doing this one for you. So good afternoon, everybody. Please allow me to welcome you to this first meeting of Tameside Council in 23-24 municipal year. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the new members and congratulate them on their election. At the same time, I wish to offer all those who have left this chamber, for whatever reason, my best wishes for the future and my thanks for all they did. Since we last met 3 months ago, I've maintained my busy schedule, representing the borough in all manner of events. These have included some that were sad, the funeral of Lord Pendry, the long-serving MP for Stalybridge and Hyde, and yesterday's Minute of Silence held here at Dukinfield Town Hall to mark the 6th anniversary of the Manchester area arena bombing and the 10th anniversary of the murder of Fusilier Lee Rigby. But there were also some joyous events. A Thanksgiving service at Manchester Cathedral to mark the coronation and a garden party at Buckingham Palace. As you'll know, one of the top priorities of any civic mayor of Tameside is to raise money for chosen charities through the annual appeal. I'm delighted to be able to tell you that the charity ball, which had a spring in the air theme, raised about £6,000. Overall, we've raised just about £10,000 that we spread amongst the 4 charities. I hope the ball was a splendid night, and I think everybody thoroughly enjoyed themselves. It's hard to know where to start or finish with the other. It's hard to know where to start or finish with the other events. I attended 2 100th birthday celebrations for Joan Agnew and Jaroslav Wenger, enjoyed the Halle Youth concerts for schools and the Bridgewater Hall, and Mossley Amateur Dramatics production of The Bridges in Madison County, and went to Stalybridge Spring Show, a Story Makers celebration where we launched the latest picture group, Sunny Days and Rainy Days, on the important theme of children's mental health. It was a real pleasure to welcome Darren Stanley to the parlour. You may recall that in February, Darren, who works for United Utilities, saved the family from burning a building in Ashton. I also enjoyed meeting members of the Friends of Tameside Young Carers, who read poems they had written to mark Young Carers Action Day. It was an honour to join in the breaking of the Ramadan fast at Holy Trinity Community Centre in Ashton, and I enjoyed attending the Easter party at the Grafton Centre in Hyde. My love of transport is well known. So you won't be surprised to hear that I was happy to be a judge at the classic car shows in Ashton and Denton, to see Stalybridge Station win at the Cheshire Best Kept Station Awards, and to be present at the relaunch of East Lancashire Canal Boat Society's Community Spirit 2 following the fitting of an electric engine. Excuse me. I could go on, as it really has been a packed few months, but I think it's time to stop. These are my last pre-council comments as Civic Mayor of Tameside. I find it hard to believe a year could pass so quickly, but there was more than enough to keep me occupied. I hope I have served you well. It was certainly an honour and privilege to do so. However, I must stress that none of it would have been possible with the help and support of the Mayoress Anne, my chaplain and friend, Reverend Pat Lodge, and all the mayoral staff. My heartfelt thanks to you all. May I conclude by wishing all the very best to my successor as Civic Mayor, Councillor Tafeen Sharif, and the new Deputy Mayor, Councillor Betty Affleck. I am sure, in fact, I know, both will serve you and the borough well. It only seems right that as Tameside approaches its 50th anniversary next spring, it will do so with its first Muslim and ethnic minority mayor in place. If proof were needed of what a welcoming, progressive place our borough is, that is surely it. Once again, many thanks for allowing me the honour of serving Tameside as its Civic Mayor. Thank you. Can I now hand over to the Chair of Business, Councillor Mayor.
Members and officers, please stand as the Civic Mayor leaves the council chamber.
Please be seated. Thank you. Okay, on to agenda item 3, declarations of interest. Before I take any interest, just for the record, the vote for the Chair of Council Business was for Councillor Joe Cooney, just to avoid any confusion. Can I ask if there's any declarations of interest? Did I say? Did I just create confusion? Sorry, Councillor Joe Kitchen. My apologies. Agenda item 4, election of councillors. Can I ask Councillor Cooney to move the motion? Councillor Fairfax, second. Agenda item 5, council minutes. Can I ask Councillor Cooney to move the minutes?
Move that, Chair.
Thank you.
Second, Chair.
Thank you. Are the minutes agreed? Thank you. Agenda item 6, appointment of the executive leader. Councillor Fairfax to move.
Councillor Gerald Cooney to be appointed the Executive Leader of the Council.
Councillor Norton, second.
Thank you.
Can I ask all those in favour to please show? The motion is carried, thank you. Can I ask Councillor Jed Cooney to make a speech?
Is it on? Yes. Members and officers, it's a bit loud there, isn't it? Members and officers of the council, before I begin, I want to take the opportunity to welcome all Tameside councillors, both those returning and those newly elected. I look forward to working with you all over the next few months ahead, and I also want to pay my respects to those who have left us for their service to the borough during their terms of office. As anybody who has ever been involved in the elections know, the hard work begins long before polling day. This year particularly was complex due to recent boundary changes requiring an all-out election, as well as the introduction of the new voter ID laws. Despite all this, as well as the drama at the count, which saw a councillor for Hyde Godley elected at 6 a.m. in the morning after drawing lots, our election staff once again outdid themselves with their diligence, dedication to the task, and I thank you all for those who came forward to ensure democracy was put into action smoothly and effectively in Tameside. As is tradition at this time, I want to thank the outgoing Mayor, Councillor Michael Glover, and his Deputy Councillor Tarif Sharif for their work during the previous year. Councillor Sharif will now be stepping up to become the new Civic Mayor of Tameside for the next year. She will be the first Muslim and ethnic minority Civic Mayor in the history of the borough, and I am positive that, aided by her Deputy, Councillor Betty Affleck, her consort, Dr Faisal Pavez, she will distinguish herself in representing Tameside and its diverse communities. Yesterday was a deeply poignant day for the country as a whole, and in Manchester in particular, as we commemorated not only the 10th anniversary of the murder of Fusilier Lee Rigby, but also the 6th year since the atrocity at the Manchester Arena. To pay our respects, the Civic Mayor, Councillor Glover, led a minute's silence on the steps of Dukinfield Town Hall at noon yesterday. I believe that no matter who we are or where we come from, the bonds of respect and humanity that bind us are stronger than the forces of hate and division. As we mourn the lives of those lost to terror, let us make sure as well that we use their memory to build a brighter and a shared future together. Unfortunately, in recent days, we've also heard the news that Pilgrims UK, one of the country's major food suppliers, is shutting down its pork factory in Dukinfield. As the site is a major employer in the borough, providing jobs for almost 550 people, it is undoubtedly a very concerning development in what is already a financially difficult time. I want to assure those who could be affected by this that Tameside Council are working at a pace alongside regional partners, the Department of Work and Pensions and the Growth Company to ensure that a coordinated and comprehensive package of support is available to support the hard-working employees of Pilgrims into the new jobs. Moving on briefly to national news, I was happy to see that after much delay, the new Renters Reform Bill is making its way through Parliament. Among the many measures it proposes, by far the most significant for us will be the consigning of Section 21, also known as a no-fault eviction, to the dustbin of history. Over recent decades, the private rented sector has become a larger proportion of the country's housing mix, and Tameside is no exception to this. Unfortunately, in many cases, the legislation the private sector renter operates under has not kept pace with the rate of change. To many of our residents, including families and children, have had to put up with insecure tenancies, extortionate rents, and homes not fit for human habitation. The new laws will not solve these problems overnight, but they will be a big step forward, ensuring that every resident in Tameside has the right to a roof over their head. The council will work with the private rented sector tenants and landlords to integrate the legislation without delay into our existing housing strategy and local plans. Tameside has also been highlighted on a national stage by the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs for achieving some of the country's most improved household recycling rates for 2021, 21 and 22. They have increased to 52.6%, putting us 9th on the improved table and significantly higher than the England average of 44%. This is not only great news, it is a testament to residents really getting into the habit of separating, recycling more and more of their waste, and helping to save limited council funds to protect vital services and moving Tameside towards the net zero. From the words on the door during the election campaign, we know that protecting our shared environment and fighting the climate crisis is a major concern for our residents. Last but not least, I want to turn my attention to those big cultural newses for Tameside. It was brilliant to hear that Stalybridge has become one of 6 towns nationally to be chosen by Historic England to host a carnival-style arts festival this summer. The initiative, known as The Weave, is part of a collaborative High Street Fest project to celebrate high streets and the people who love and look after them. The council is joining forces with a number of local, regional, national partners to deliver the event. and it forms a cornerstone of a wider cultural weekend of activity, including the Street Fest Food Festival and Heritage Open Days. This is a great opportunity to build on Stalybridge's Town of Cultural legacy, as well as the town's Heritage Action Zone, and I look forward to seeing it come to fruition later this year. As we move forward from the elections, it is clear that the challenge we face, from the cost of living crisis to the impact of ongoing austerity and the climate emergency, are not going away. However, with the faith of our residents affirmed at the ballot box, our resolve to meet them head on has never been greater. No matter the obstacles, we have incredibly exciting opportunities ahead of us to build back better, fairer and greener. I truly believe that this can be Tameside's time, and I have every faith that, with the support from our elected members, officers, partners and community, we will turn that hope into a reality for us all. Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item 7, appointments of the Executive Cabinet, panels, the Standards Committee, outside bodies and the opposition spokespersons. Can I ask Councillor Cooney to move the recommendations?
Move them, Chair.
Councillor Fairfield, second. Okay, any queries on the membership must be addressed through the group whips in the first instance. Can I ask all those in favour of accepting recommendations to show? Councillor Billington.
Yes, on the paper it says for Education Attainment Improvement Board, and it says Assistant Member for Children, Councillor Hugh Roderick, but Councillor Hugh Roderick is not on the list of executive members. Also, as well, I'd just like to say that the Standards Committee only had one meeting last year, yet the chair is paid £6,137 for that. I do hope that there'll be more meetings in the following year.
Thank you. Yeah. Point you raised, secondly, well, we can take it at a different point, but regarding the accuracy of that position.
Important, and you know, so clearly there wasn't a need for it to meet any more than it is, but I don't set that it is what it is. But I mean, it's how we conduct ourselves in public life, and clearly if there is any breaches of that, or there is a need for it to convene, but it is there, you know, I can't do much about that, and I don't have a problem that we have a standards board. I do wish, and I would have hoped, that we would have gone back to previously, that the standard board actually had more teeth. I think nationally that was taken away from it, and I think that I'd have been more happy if it still had them, you know, a stronger bite about it.
Thank you. Can I ask all those in favour to show their hands? Thank you. The motion is carried. Agenda item 8, calendar of meetings for 2023-24. Can I ask Councillor Cooney to move the recommendations? Councillor Fairfield? Thank you. Is there anyone to speak on this item? Okay, can I ask all those in favour to show their hands? Thank you. The motion is carried. Agenda item 9, Executive Cabinet Minutes. Can I ask Councillor Cooney to move the minutes of the meetings of the Executive Cabinet held on the 29th of March and the 26th of April 2023?
Move them, Chair.
Councillor Fairfield, a second.
Second those, Chair.
Thank you. Are there any comments? Are we okay to accept those minutes? Please raise your hand. Thank you. Agenda item 10, allowance for the GMCA Overview and Security Committee members. Can I ask Councillor Cooney to move the recommendations?
Of the GMCA Independent Remuneration Panel set out in the report, Chair.
Councillor Fairfield, second.
Second those, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Fitzpatrick.
Sorry, Chair, I wish to speak on the previous item, but you moved on before the mic allowed me to do so.
Michael. Thank you. Apologies for that. So that brings us to the end of the council business, and I move that the meeting be adjourned until 6 p.m. for the civic part of the meeting. Can I ask Councillor Fairfield to second that?
Second that, Chair.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak on that? No. Can I remind you that the ceremonial part of this meeting will begin at 6 p.m. sharp, and this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, that's what.
Right. Please be seated. Thank you, if you would. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can I please remind you that mobile telephones should now be switched to silent. A reminder that this meeting is webcasted meeting and you will only be heard on the stream when you use your microphone. Indicate you wish to speak by pressing the button on your mic, and when you're invited to speak, your mic will turn red. I now call upon Councillor North to propose the formal motion for the election of the Civic Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. That Councillor Tafeen Sharif be and is hereby elected Civic Mayor of the Metropolitan Borough of Tameside for the forthcoming municipal year. I am delighted to stand here today to nominate Councillor Tafeen Sharif as Civic Mayor of Tameside for the year 2022-2023. It is a proud moment in the history of the borough as Councillor Tafeen Sharif becomes the first Muslim and ethnic minority mayor. I would also like to especially welcome TAF's parents, Mohammed Sharif and Praveen Akhtar, and family and friends who have travelled from London, Luton and Leeds to be here this evening. Welcome. Assalamu alaikum. A commitment to civic duty has long been a part of TAF's life, breaking down many barriers along the way. TAF became an elected councillor in 2011 in Luton and then Deputy Police and Crime Commissioner for Bedfordshire, before marriage brought her to Tameside, where TAF was first elected to serve the community of Mossley in 2016. As a local councillor, TAF has successfully fought off inappropriate planning applications, on occasion all the way to the Secretary of State. She has helped resolve education and housing matters, taken part in community events, and lobbied for better bus services, as well as being a daily part of the Mossley Litterbugs Brigade. Last year, TAF took on the role of Chair of Children's Social Care and Education Scrutiny, as the Council entered into its improvement journey in children's services. TAF has been both meticulous and rigorous in holding management to account, and her professional chairing of meetings has ensured that everyone has had the opportunity to contribute. Alongside this work, TAF is a Justice of the Peace, one of the few who also sit alongside a judge hearing appeals at Crown Court, and a school governor. Having experienced the work of Home Start with her first child, typically, TAF decided to return the favour and became first a trustee and is now Vice Chair of Home Start, giving back to an organisation whose work across Tameside to support families with young children is so important. As a mother of young children, TAF has always been honest about both the difficulties and the importance of balancing family life with all these demands on her time. This is something I know TAF feels we need to speak about more openly if we are to encourage more women to take on these public roles. I should at this point welcome Faisal, who will be acting as the Mayor's consort and who I know is and will be a source of strength and support for TAF in the coming year. I know that one of TAF's hobbies is listening to motivational and inspiring podcasts, but I believe that here today TAF stands as an inspiration to women of all ages. To those who, like TAF, have faced discrimination and prejudice, and who may have thought that, no, that's not something I could do, that's not for me, and now they can say, yes, it is for me, I can aspire to that. I have heard some of TAF's exciting plans for the year ahead, and know that she will fulfil her duties as Civic Mayor with the same commitment and dedication she has brought to her work as a local councillor. I wish TAF and her consort Faisal a successful and happy year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor North. I now call upon Councillor Wills to second the formal motion as moved by Councillor North.
Councillor Sharif, it is certainly an honour to be seconding my friend TAF for this appointment of Mayor today. A moment in history for us here in Tameside. Our first Muslim and ethnic minority female Mayor for Tameside. What an inspiration she is to women and to those within her community. I first met TAF in 2016 at a Labour Women's event and quickly realised we'd get on well, both being female councillors, both juggling young families and sharing tales of feeding whilst attending meetings. Many may not be aware, but TAF was born in Luton and grew up in one of the poorest neighbourhoods in the country, alongside her parents and 5 siblings. Life was tough financially for her family and many around them. Although TAF grew up in a poor neighbourhood and didn't have the finer things, she benefited from the strength and generosity of her community. TAF has never forgotten her roots and the people who influenced her life in so many rich ways. It is those experiences that have shaped TAF into being the first female in her family to go on to university, first member of her large extended family to enter into politics, the only female Muslim in the country as the Deputy Police and Crime Commissioner. It is those experiences that continue to drive TAF to make a difference. This part of TAF's character is absolutely the part that endeared me to her. Being a mother of 4 young children and working hard to shape her community to enrich the lives of others will inspire her children for years to come. Of that, I have no doubt. In the 7 years that TAF has been a councillor for Mosley, she has worked hard alongside her colleagues to represent the residents of Mosley and has a passion to drive down inequalities within our community, something she also represents in her roles within Home Start, her role as Scrutiny Chair for Children's and Governor for Staley Hill Infants. Being a woman in politics can be hard. We face abuse and a focus that is not always positive, and that can certainly take its toll. For me today, the personal tribute I have for TAF is one of pride. She represents not only women, but women within the Muslim community, women within ethnic minorities, women who feel their margins are smaller and smaller than their peers. These women will look to TAF and her many achievements and see themselves in her and believe they too can achieve. They can be strong and have a strong voice. They can make a difference. In spite of the narrow margins they face, the adversities and challenges they endure, they can aspire and can achieve great things. TAF is an amazing woman, a fantastic role model within the Muslim community, and I have no doubt that she will bring that community together over her term in office over the next coming 12 months. And she'll continue to be an inspiration to us all. I wish TAF every success in her tenure as Mayor of Tameside, first Muslim female Mayor of Tameside. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wills. I put the motion to the Council that Councillor Tafeen Sharif be elected Civic Mayor of Tameside for the ensuing municipal year. All those in favour, please show. Thank you. The motion is carried. Councillor North and Councillor Wills, can I ask that you please leave the Council Chairman to collect Councillor Tafeen Sharif? Councillor Tafeen Sharif, it is my pleasure to inform you of the Council's decision to elect you as Civic Mayor of Tameside for the ensuing year, and offer my sincere congratulations and good wishes. So, yeah. Well, would you for a photograph?
I, Tafeen Sharif, having been elected to the office of Civic Mayor for the Tameside Metropolitan Borough Council, hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties thereof, according to the best of my judgment and ability. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. By the grace of God, Allah, the prayers of my parents, my family and friends, my loving husband, my consort Faisal, my children, Bilal is here with us today, the support of great colleagues and the wider community of Mosley and Tameside and beyond. I today find myself in the position of not only Tameside's mayor, but Tameside's first ethnic minority mayor and Tameside's first Muslim mayor. It is wonderful to see so many people attend today and come out for me. Some have travelled afar to be part of this historical moment. I thank you for your support. I would like to convey my absolute gratitude to my Lord for ultimately honouring me with this position of responsibility. And further, to thank my amazing and supportive parents, Mohammed Sharif and Parveen Akhtar, my siblings, my aunts, my uncles, relatives, and special friends, all of whom are present today. I know some could not make it, and I thank them also. Locally, I know I will not get through this year without the support of my dear friends of the North. Thank you, sisters. May I extend a very sincere thank you to the members of this council for electing and trusting me as your civic mayor. Thank you to my leader, Councillor Jed Cooney, my ward colleagues, and others for your support throughout. I have the full friendship and support of all three of our local and hard-working MPs, Jonathan Reynolds, Angela Rayner, and Andrew Gwynn. Johnny, thank you for attending and taking time out of your hectic set schedule to be with us today. I have with me today my excellent chaplains, Imam Ghulam Mohideen of Ashton Central Mosque and Imam Olashani Junaid of Tameside Hospital. Both very charismatic and dynamic individuals, mashallah. Truly in tune with real issues we face today, particularly for our young people. Now, may I take this opportunity to thank our retiring civic mayor, Mike and Mayoress Anne, who have worked very hard over the year and excelled as first residents of our borough. I hope we too will be able to carry on the good work. I wish you both the very best. Over the coming year, Faisal and I look forward to working with our Deputy Mayor, also, Councillor Betty Affleck, and I am absolutely sure we'll make a tremendous team. I further look forward to raising funds for my Mayoral Charity Appeal Fund, which this year will be supporting our local charities that provide support to the most vulnerable. I have specifically chosen charities that mean something to me personally and the residents of Tameside over these last few years. Home Start, and Sarah joins us today, provide support to families with young children in so many ways, from feeding, parental mental health, really helping many, many families from breaking point. I have with us We Shall Overcome, Pauline Town, helps our homeless people. The poorest are surely those without a roof over their head, without a loving, warm home, without a family, without no food. And finally, West African Development. We have Aladdin Hakil representing us today. This charity helps our ethnic minority communities in Tameside in so many ways others cannot. My consort and I want to do more for our charities by raising the funds and also highlighting their good work throughout the year. We hope that we will have your full support in raising funds for these worthy causes. It is a real honour and privilege for me to be representing so many people in so many ways as a first citizen of Tameside, a home I have come to love. I feel my appointment as mayor is symbolic of Tameside being a welcoming and diverse place where people are judged on their qualities. We all in this room have our own unique qualities, and the key is to do our best for others, particularly those striving and those that are underrepresented. I cannot see someone struggle. We all have a role to play in this world, in this society. Life is so tough for many, and we must all do our part with kindness, compassion, and skill. So for me, of course, I am honoured to cut ribbons for new exciting ventures, but also, and more importantly, it's about making a difference in my tenure, to make each visit, each engagement as meaningful as possible, whether it's uplifting someone or guiding someone, inspiring others, particularly being a good role model for our women and our young people. I would love to open doors for many and bring our flourishing communities closer together. We are one. We are the human race, and we must do what we can to pull each other up, despite the challenging and difficult circumstances. We must highlight the positives of each and every one of our communities. It makes us who we are. It creates a good society, a kinder world. So my job is to be an ambassador for all of Tameside in all my engagements within Tameside, Greater Manchester and beyond. This cannot happen without the support of my consort, and together we look forward to an undoubtedly busy but exciting year ahead. We will be working hard for this council and the people of Tameside, and hope you will be proud of what we achieve. Thank you. I now call upon Councillor Jan Jackson to move the appointment of the Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. That Councillor Betty Affleck be and is hereby appointed Deputy Mayor of the Metropolitan Borough of Tameside for the forthcoming municipal year. Right, I'll have a switch now. It's a great honour to propose Councillor Betty Affleck for Deputy Mayor of Tameside. A book should be written about Betty, and I'm sure it would be a bestseller. But at last, we haven't the time to do this inspirational lady justice. Betty is the eldest daughter of 11 children, mother to 2 beautiful daughters, and nana to 8 wonderful grandchildren who are all here tonight to celebrate. She's also auntie and great-auntie to many nieces and nephews. Betty is the go-to member of the family for all sorts of problems and issues, including health advice, her wisdom and knowledge of what it takes for ailments which are cured. So, Mayor's attendants, you're in good hands with Betty. She also multitasks, and it's not uncommon for Betty to have 4 or 5 things going on at the same time, catering for an event, whilst decorating for a family member, organising a community garden, and on the odd occasion, she makes some time to do her own DIY. Betty is the sticking plaster in the family. She's the cook, the baker, and the dressmaker. What a woman. An example of how talented Betty is was when one of her granddaughters came home from school one day and asked her nana if she could make her an outfit for the nativity she was in. Betty ended up making all the costumes for the nativity play. Betty's worked all her life in various jobs, but the best one she had was cook at GMP for several years, always a public servant. Each role she's had has made her more equipped for the one that she's about to take on this evening. Her political experience comes from early on, taking on her 6 brothers and winning, and also looking after her father, the late Councillor Joe Fitzpatrick, organising his diary, helping with casework sometimes, and ironing his shirts. Now is Betty's time, and she is a councillor in her own right. One thing you need to know about Betty Taff is she's always right, and even when Betty's wrong, she's right. I think her family will vouch for that as well. She has earned respect from her peers and is admired for her diligence and a no-nonsense approach to getting things done. As a proud Irish woman, Betty has an open house where you'll always be welcome with a cup of tea and a piece of homemade cake or a biscuit, whilst meat and potato and cheese and onion pies are cooking in the oven for a community event or a family party. Betty likes to dance, and she's a superb dancer. Get her on that dance floor. And a lover of music, especially the Beatles. She enjoys the theatre, trips away when she's got the time, and anything to do with community, involving people. Betty is the heartbeat of communities, and long may it continue. She is passionate about tracing the family tree and is the one with all the photo albums and the videos over the decades. This gives you an overview of why Betty will be an outstanding Deputy Mayor and an excellent support and match for Taff. Every family member should have a Betty. Every workplace and community should have a Betty. And every council chamber should have a Betty. Congratulations, Betty. I wish you the best of luck in the role for your Deputy Mayor of Tameside. You are so deserved of this, Betty, and you make us all proud, all the family, all your colleagues and everyone in this chamber this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Jackson. And now I call upon Councillor Hugh Roderick to second the formal motion.
Thank you. It is my great pleasure to second this motion. In my opinion, Councillor Affleck is an unsung hero of Hyde, though perhaps with this appointment she is more of a sung hero. Betty is someone who is always involved in whatever's going on in Hyde, whatever event, whatever activity, whatever meeting is happening that is invested in improving things in Hyde for everyone. Betty is there. Betty is always integral to its organising as well. She's tirelessly working to improve Hyde, whether that's the new planter barrels on the marketplace, or Betty's barrels as I like to call them, whether it's the Mellor that we have now made into an annual fixture for the town, or whether it's the yearly Christmas event. Betty is always there. Betty is always integral, whether it's the phone number for the security, whether it's the phone number for the ice cream man. Betty knows who you need to call. And also, as Councillor Jackson mentioned, if you have an event and you need catering, you want a Moorish meat and potato pie or a cracking cheese and onion pie, Councillor Affleck is your woman. But far more than events and meetings, through her chairing of the Strategic South Neighbourhood Forum, she has become instrumental in pushing forward the Hyde Master Plan, which we hope will be a fantastic legacy for how we can turn around Hyde. So, Councillor Affleck is a genuine public servant. She doesn't do what she does for gain. She does not ask for gain. She does it because she knows it's the right thing. And she's also a thoroughly nice person as well, on top of it all. And she absolutely deserves the recognition that this appointment is giving to her for the work that she's done for Hyde and the work that she's done for Tameside as well. So I will finish by saying I wish you well for the coming year, Councillor Affleck. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Roderick. And now put the motion to the Council that Councillor Betty Affleck be appointed Deputy Mayor of Tameside for the ensuing municipal year. All those in favour, please show. Thank you. The motion is carried.
I, Betty Affleck, having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor for the Tameside Metropolitan Borough, hereby declare that I will take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties thereof, according to the best of my judgment and ability. Good evening, everyone. I'm very proud and honoured to stand here before you this evening with another opportunity to serve the great borough of Tameside as Deputy Mayor. I am grateful and appreciate the members of this council, especially Councillors Jan Jackson and Hugh Roderick, for putting their trust in me to fulfil the role, and I look forward to the opportunity of working with our new Mayor, Taff, who I'm sure will do a fantastic job with Faisal by her side. I wish them a happy and successful term of office. Special thanks goes to my family who have always supported me for attending tonight, especially my grandchildren who have travelled from different parts of the country to be here, even though it is exam times. Once again, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve Tameside as Deputy Mayor, a role which I promise to fulfil to the best of my abilities. Thank you.
Thank you. It is now my pleasure to propose a vote of thanks to the retiring Civic Mayor and Mayoress. I am sure members will agree that Michael and Anne have worked extremely hard during their year in office. They have conducted their duties with great dignity and have been excellent ambassadors for this authority. I am delighted to move the vote of thanks and to wish them well in their future. I understand Councillor Fairfield is to second this vote of thanks.
Thank you. So I'll be pleased and I'll be brief. So it's an absolute honour to second this vote of thanks. Mike, you've been an excellent mayor, and also a special thanks to Councillor Anne. 12 months ago, because of the way this actually works, you probably didn't hear my proposal because you were out of the room, but I think Anne was in. I did say, Anne, I'm not sure what you signed up to this year, but I have to say you've been an absolute excellent support to Mike, and I'm sure you couldn't have done this without you. Well, congratulations to you both, how you've actually both represented this borough for the whole of the last year. So we've been following that through the social media and the press and etc. And my highlight has got to be the Mayor's Ball, and got to see the CCTV has probably been destroyed. It was a fantastic event, and so well done on that. I'm sure you now both need a breather, and hope you enjoy some well-earned rest, and hopefully a holiday. And I think all that remains to be said really is thank you for the last year, and good luck for the future. Thank you.
On behalf of the Council, it is my pleasure to present the retiring Civic Mayor and Mayoress with medallions and a certificate in recognition of their year in office and as a thank you for their hard work and loyal service. I therefore ask Michael and Anne to step forward to receive these gifts.
In the way of many traditions, I'll start at the beginning. I say a thank you to the members of the Council for allowing me to be your civic mayor for the last 12 months. It has been an honour and a privilege for me and my mayoress to represent the borough of Tameside. It has been a very busy and unique year. People started to come out of the COVID years and with some trepidation gathered together. Then we had the Queen's Jubilee celebrations, followed by the sad loss of our Queen Elizabeth. As a result, I received and made the proclamations of the new King Charles III and, of course, the coronation. In all, we have attended almost 300 engagements and met some wonderful people from all walks of life. But the events that stand out are due to the hard work of so many volunteers that improve the lives of our communities. This was especially so when it involved the children and adults with special needs. Visiting the various schools has been a pleasure, whether simply awarding certificates or particularly dealing with the children's personal questions and answers. It's always a little bit embarrassing when they say, "How old are you?" So, another sideline of being mayor is being made honorary president of the District Scouts, which I had no idea about before it happened, but there we go. There was, of course, the more formal events of commemorative or celebration church, temple and mosque services. We've also enjoyed a number of amateur theatre productions and musical concerts around the borough and Manchester. I think everyone enjoyed the Mayor's Ball, and that raised £6,000, and the charities in total raised £10,000. I hope that you will agree that it has been a unique and amazing year for my chosen, unique and amazing year, and I would like to thank everybody that made it so special. At this point, I would like to thank my chaplain, the Reverend Pat Lodge, for her support, and of course the superb mayoral staff that worked so hard in the background to make all the events run so smoothly. Thanks also to the retiring Deputy Mayor, Councillor Tafeen Sharif, for her loyal support. I would like to give a very special thank you to my special friend and mayoress, Mrs. Anne Gordon. She didn't know what to expect and had no experience of being this far in the public eye. Through a rapid learning curve, she did an amazing job to support and at times literally encourage and get involved. Thank you, Anne. To close, it's been an honour to be your civic mayor, and thank you once again for this wonderful opportunity and year of special memories. My congratulations to our new civic mayor, Councillor Tafeen Sharif, and her consort, Dr. Faisal Parafez, and of course the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Betty Affleck. I'm sure that the chains of office will be in good hands. Good luck and best wishes to you all. Thank you all again. Good luck.
Thank you, Councillor Glover. That concludes the annual meeting of Council. Thank you.
Please stand as the Civic Mayor leads the Council chamber.